Alrighty. Yesterday, you did a very nice job with this first question. It was, which subject do kids prefer the least? We know that least means the littlest amount or the smallest amount. And we can see that social studies was the smallest. We did a great job with that one. Next one, we took a look at comparing. This was about half and half. Okay, some of us are forgetting. The greater the denominator, the smaller the piece. The smaller the denominator, the bigger the piece. So we have 1/3 and we have 1/5. Okay, our numerators are the same, so we've got to look at the size of the denominator. 1/3 and 1/5 look like this. Well, not like that. That was a goofy thing. Like this. 1/3 is a much larger piece than 1/5 because it is less pieces on the whole. And the less pieces we have to cut up, the bigger those pieces are. Next one, look at the fraction below. Choose all, which in this case means 2, that is true about this fraction. We did a pretty good job here. We know that 3/8 tells us that there are 8 pieces in the whole. It also tells us, ooh, did I mess up? Maybe that's why it was kind of goofy. Oh, no, I didn't. One more unit fraction would equal 1/2. 3/8 plus 1/8, which is a unit fraction, would give us 4/8. And we know that 4 is half of 8. 4 on this hand, 4 on this hand, altogether equals 8. Okay, those were your 2. Next up, how much is this in dollars and cents? Don't forget your $sign and decimal point. There's my $sign. Dollar bills, y'all. That's a really goofy $sign. There we go. All right, we have a $5 bill. This is worth $5. We have a decimal point because we're now moving to coins. We have a quarter, that's 25 cents, plus another quarter is 50 cents, plus another quarter is 75 cents, plus a nickel, which is 5 cents. 75 plus 5 is equal to 80. So $5.80 is the total here. I noticed the biggest problem that we had yesterday was people wrote down 580. You didn't use your decimal point. 580 is very different from $5.80. Okay, $5.80 is going to buy you like a Happy Meal at McDonald's. 580 is going to buy you like a steak dinner for 5 people. Okay, big difference there. So make sure you put those decimal points there, okay, to show the difference. That was why a lot of people got this wrong yesterday. You forgot that decimal point. All right, that separates your dollars and your cents. 6, if the dividend is divided evenly by the divisor, what is the quotient? Remembering this bucket strategy reminds us that we can do larger groups, okay? I know that this is 39. That is the same as 30 plus 9, using that expanded form to help us. I can divide 30 by 3 10 times. 10, 20, 30. So I'm going to put 10 in this first bucket, 10 in the second bucket, 10 in the third bucket, and that's used my 30. Okay, now I've got 9 left. If I count by 3s until I get to 9, I'm going to go 3, 6, 9. 3 are going to go in each bucket. So we're going to put 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. That gives me 13 in each bucket. Miss Sousa, how do you know you're right? That's a great question, kids. I could use repeated addition to see if my answer is correct. 13 from the first bucket, 13 from the second bucket, 13 from the third bucket. 3, 6, 9, 10, 20, 30, 39. Yep, they match. So 13 is your correct answer here. Those buckets are a visual reminder to you to divide using larger chunks than 1, okay? All right. Very good job, guys, on DMR. You'll have another opportunity for practice today to look at those same exact skills. Remember, you can look at the answers after you submit your test to see how you've done, okay? All right, everybody. We have been working on reading. Oh, Levin, I'm so sorry. Yes, Levin, a question. I missed you, sir. Apologies.
So, are we gonna be reviewing division game this year?
We will get back to division when we get into word problems with division, yes.
Okay.
Okay, feel like you need some more practice with it? It's very self-aware, very good. All right. We have been looking at reading graphs and using the data that is there for us. Today, we are going to begin creating graphs. So instead of reading the graph, you're going to be drawing the graphs, okay? We're going to get this started by looking at the seesaw assignment using a frequency table to make a graph. So click on that activities light bulb to refresh your feed. It will put that activity title right up top for you, using a frequency table to make a graph, okay? Directions tell us that we're going to listen to success criteria on slide 1. We're going to work on slides 2 through 7 together, and then you will be working on 8 through 11 for some independent practice today. And then as usual, you have your success criteria on slide 12, okay? All right, add response, here we go. Camille, go ahead and take this time to get that camera on, sis. All righty, here is your success criteria for the day.
Today in math, we are going to create a scaled bar or picture graph using a frequency table. So we're going to look at a tally chart or frequency table, and then we're going to use that data, use that information, and turn it into a graph. Today, when we are working on our graph, we'll be talking about the title, what categories are in the information, and most importantly, today we're going to talk about the scale. How do we figure out what scale to use when we are creating a graph? I can't wait to learn with you.
All right, so taking a look at our scale, all right? This is a video example of why scales are important. Today, you are going to have to decide what scale our data will count by. Is it going to count by 2s or 5s or 10s or 3s? What is the data going to count by? Here's how we can decide what a scale should count by.
Use the frequency table to make a bar graph. Let's do an example together. Here is a frequency table where somebody has collected some data on people's favorite drinks. I notice that there are 4 categories. So when I make my graph, I'm going to use those same categories: apple juice, Pepsi, Coke, and milk. I label my categories just like my frequency table. My next job is to record the title. I know that the data is all about drinks, so I can fill in a title that represents the data correctly. Next, I need to pick a scale. In first grade, we use a scale that's counting by ones. So let's talk about this data set. If I counted by ones, I would have to create many rows because of how high my data set numbers are. Let me show you what I mean. Apple juice has 15 votes. If I count by ones, I would start at the bottom at 0 and count all the way up by ones to 15. This is going to take me a long time. I can't even get to 15 using this example because my graph stops right here. Look at the Coke data. Coke has even more votes. This is why we don't want to count by ones in 3rd grade. When we create a graph, we need to choose a scale that is appropriate. If I'm going to make a bar graph using this data set, I need to think about a number that I can count by that's different than 1 and that makes sense for these numbers. I notice apple juice is 15. Pepsi has 11 votes. Coke has 19. And milk has 17. So my highest number in the data set is 19. That means my highest number here probably only needs to be 20. So from 0 to 20, I can think about a scale that makes sense. What are some different ways I could count from 0 to 20, not counting by 1? I could count by 2s, or 3s, or 4s. You got it. When I look at this data set, I already see them grouped by 5s. So it might make sense for me to use a scale of 5. I could start at 0 and count to 5, 10, 15, and 20. Notice that I don't have to go all the way to the top of the graph. It's okay to stop near the middle as long as all of your data is less than your last number.
All right, so let's take a look today at practicing building scales, okay? I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and skip over 4 for right now. I want you to hop to slide 5. We're going to work on these together instead of watching one of them. Practice makes perfect, right? Okay, so we are given directions. Our directions are
complete the picture graph using the frequency chart.
okay, so here we have a frequency chart over here. Let's take a look at what our data is about. Number of oranges picked in a week. I notice that we have categories of the days of the week, and we have the number picked, which is our data. Let's go ahead and color code what we notice is the same. Take a look at our title. Highlight your title on your frequency chart yellow. Now take a look at your title over here on the graph that's been filled in for you. Notice that the title matches. Justin, we're not going to start off with a frequency chart about number of oranges picked in a week and then graph our favorite Marvel superheroes. Okay, our data has to match each other, so the titles will remain the same. Let's look at our categories. Choose a different color. Our categories right here are the days of the week. Notice over here on the graph, we have the same categories. Our frequency chart isn't showing us days of the week, and then our graph is going to show us numbers of the calendar. The categories match. So all we're going to do is transfer that data onto the graph. Any questions about titles or categories right now? Okay. Jess, I need you to focus, baby. I'm not over there on that wall. I need your attention over here. So if you got a TV on or something, go ahead and turn that off, please. Levin, a question.
Didn't you say we're able to set our own scale?
we're going to practice creating scales. Yes, we're going to do these together. And then today during independent time, you're going to be able to set your own scales to see how you're doing with understanding the numbers.
Okay, I just have something to say that I've noticed once I've counted on the
These numbers here,
yeah,
what do you notice?
that you can count by twos on all of them.
These are all even numbers. That's a great pattern to notice. So 11 is pointing out our next step, looking at our data. We have 4, 6, 10, 12, and 8. And 11 is correct. We can say these numbers counting by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that would probably be a good scale for us to use. So let's check this out and see how much work that's going to be. Let's look at our greatest number. Our greatest number is 12. If we decide that we're going to count by twos, let's see how many pictures we would have to put on this graph. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 6 pictures. That's not a lot. That's pretty doable. So I think 2 is a great scale. So let's create our scale. Drag one of these oranges, please, and we've got to tell our graph reader how many this orange is worth. So this orange is worth 2 purple unicorns flying through space. 2 what, Josh?
Oranges.
Oranges. That's why the picture's of an orange. Look at that, it makes sense. 2 oranges. Okay, so what you have just created right here is your key. I want you to label that. Remember key, remember scale, they're the same word. You have just created your key. This tells the reader that we are not counting by ones when you see our oranges. Okay? Justin, check the chat for me, please. All right. So we are now going to start creating our pictograph using the data. We're going to have to duplicate this orange. I'm going to create a whole bunch of oranges right now because I've got a lot of data here. Go ahead and do the same. You can duplicate your orange a whole bunch of times. There we go. I might need to duplicate it more. I might have done too many. We'll see. All right. Okay, let's take a look. Our first category is Monday. For Monday, we've got to show 4 oranges. Let's count by twos as we move our oranges. 2, 4. Done. Any questions on why we only have 2 oranges there? Okay, let's take a look at Tuesday. We have 6. It shows 6 oranges. Let's count by twos as we place our oranges. 2, 4, 6. There we go. 3 oranges represent the 6 oranges in the data. Any questions on that? Okay. Welcome back, Justin. I need you focused with us, kiddo. Put the ball down. If you got a TV on that side screen, turn it off, please. Let's get focused. All righty, Wednesday. Let's take a look at Wednesday. We have 10 oranges. Let's count by twos as we move our oranges to Wednesday. 2, 4, we got to get to 10. 6, 8, we're still not at 10. 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 5 pictures represent the 10 oranges picked on Wednesday because we are counting by twos. Miss Camille, your graph is still blank, so I need for you to get with us, please, on your graph. You're behind. That doesn't make sense. All right. Let's take a look at Thursday. So for Thursday, 1 second, kiddos. Pause 1 second for me. There we go. So now we're going to move on to Thursday. Okay, we have 12 oranges picked on Thursday. We're counting by twos. Leah's right. We're going to have to duplicate some more oranges. Let's count to 12 by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to need 6 oranges. So let's duplicate so we have 6 of those. 5 and 6. And I'm going to go place my oranges in the Thursday row. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 oranges. 6 pictures shows 12 oranges.
Miss Usa, we can't hear you.
All righty, let's take a look at our next one, Friday. Friday has 8 oranges picked. We're going to have to duplicate. There we go. I'll hold it up here. We are going to have to duplicate until we have enough to represent the 8 oranges. So let's count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8. I need 4 pictures on my graph to represent those 8 oranges. So I'm going to place, ooh, what row? I'm going to place my 4 oranges in my Friday slot. And because I have a key counting by 2, I know that that represents all 8 oranges. All right. Any questions on the pictograph and the scale that we chose? Okay. Let's take a look at our next one. Our next one, we're going to be creating a scaled bar graph. Okay, take a look at our bar graph here. We've got the exact same information. Exact same information here on our chart. Number of oranges picked in a week. Let's highlight our title and notice that they are the same. Grab your highlighter. Highlight the title of your frequency chart. Go highlight the title of the graph that's there. And notice that those are the exact same. Let's take a look at our categories. I'm going to change my highlighting color so that I can see the difference very clearly. My categories are the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right here. Notice on your bar graph, they're the same categories. Look, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There aren't any changes between our frequency chart and our graphing. Okay. here's what we're in charge of. Take a look at the data. The data here is the number picked. We've got to create a key that's going to represent that number picked. Okay? Now, we've already decided that 2 is a good scale. Let's see if 2 makes sense on the bar graph. Grab a pen for me, please. We have 0 down here at the beginning of our graph. All of our graphs are going to start at the lowest data point here, which shows 0. Okay? Camille, you're behind, sis. We've highlighted 3 things. We've started writing our categories. Your graph is still blank. All right. So let's take a look here. We have 0. Let's see if it'll fit. 2, I'm imagining fitting it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Hey, look, it'll fit. Let's fill that in. This bar is going to represent 2. Next up is 4. We're just counting by our scale of 2s. 8, 10, and 12. And then we don't need those other sections of the graph, and that's okay. We don't have to fill in the whole graph. Let's write our key. Our key or our scale is equal to 2. We are counting by 2s. Okay, now that we've got our key or our scale set up, let's take a look at filling in our data. We've got Monday. I like to color in my bar graphs with my highlighter. I'm going to use the orange because we're talking about oranges being picked in a week. Monday has 4, so I'm going to color in 2 bars, 2, 4, all the way up to 4. So 2 sections or 2 bars here represents all 4 oranges that were picked. All right. Let's take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday goes up to 6, so we know that's going to be taller than Monday. We've got 2, we've got 4, we're going to go up to 6. There we go. Get that shaded in. Awesome. Looks great. Elijah, Christopher, well done. Aiden, good job. Levin, slow your roll a bit, buddy. Steve, wonderful. Frank, Camille, and Justin, your bars are still blank. Terrence, let's get that bars going. All right, Wednesday. We've done Monday, we've done Tuesday. Let's look at Wednesday. Wednesday has 10 oranges picked, so we're going to count up by 2s up to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I'm going to level out that bar and then shade in the full thing here. It's very important on bar graphs that you shade in the bar so that we can see very clearly the data. If all I do is make a little stick, that gets a little bit confusing. Okay, so it is called a bar graph. So we want to make it look like bars. Okay. Let's
We're
take a look
making a
at,
staircase.
it does look like that. Yeah, there's kind of a pattern going on. Let's take a look at Thursday. Thursday has 12 oranges picked, so we've got to go even higher than we did Wednesday. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There we go, all the way to the top of our scale. Take your time, get that bar shaded in, because Friday is going to ruin our pattern. No more pretty staircase because it goes back down.
Because Friday's 8.
It is. 11, I got your message, babe.
I forgot to put the number up.
All righty, let's take a look at Friday. Friday has 8 oranges picked in a week, so let's count up to 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. There I am. And I've gone up to the 8 bar on the side where it shows my key and scale. If I were to trace this straight across, I would see that it is in line with 8. Okay. So we've got all 8. All right. So now we've completed that bar graph using that frequency chart. Yes, Levin.
Kind of like American Ninja Warrior. You're going up the stairs and you gotta make a 5 feet drop.
It does look like that. Yep. Terrence.
So, like there was 8 picked on Friday. There was 8 picked.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've made a pictograph using a frequency chart. We've made a bar graph using a frequency chart. We're going to take this same information and we're going to make a line plot now. Okay, the same information, and we're going to make a line plot. This time, let's take a look at our title. Here's our title. Uh-oh. There's no title. All graphs need a title so that we know what the data is representing. So let's go ahead and fill in the title here. We know that the title is the exact same as what's shown in the frequency chart. So let's add a text box for our title here. Our title is the exact same as it appears, so I am just copying it from my frequency chart. Number of oranges picked in a week. Boom. Now I've got a title for my line plot. Okay, so we've got a title. All right, let's see if our categories are there on our graph. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are our categories. Take a look down here at the bottom of our graph. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Cool. So we've got the categories. Our data appears here. 4 on Monday, 6 on Tuesday, 10 on Wednesday, 12 on Thursday, 8 on Friday. We do not yet have data over here on our line plot. So we've got to add our data. Take a look down here. Our key, our scale is already shown for us. Each X is going to represent 1 orange. Okay? So let's get a text box and let's make an X. And I'm going to make that text box small enough that I can stack them on top. So you go ahead and do the same. And then I'm just going to duplicate it a bunch of times. So go ahead and get some X's there that you can stack on top of each other. Duplicate them. We'll need a lot of X's. We're going to need even more X's than we needed the oranges on our pictograph, because this time we're counting by ones, not by twos. So I'm actually going to go a little bit crazy here with the X's. Alrighty, I think that might be enough. If I need more later, then I'll add more. If I did too many, then that's okay. They'll just stay down there. All right. Okay, let's add them in. Monday has 4 oranges picked. So we're going to take 4 X's. We're going to stack them on top of our Monday's category. It is very important that your X's are in a stack. If you just put them all over the place like this, that's very difficult to read. That's not easy for the eye to understand. So on our line plot, our data is stacked on top of each other, very similarly to a bar graph. See, some of you are still placing your X's for duplication, so I'm going to give you a moment to catch up. And then we're going to move on to Tuesday. All right, Tuesday, there are 6 oranges picked. Each X represents 1, so I've got to count by ones until I get to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll notice that the eye can very easily see that Tuesday is more than Monday because that stack is taller. If I just had my X's all over the place like this, my eye can't see that very clearly. So I'm going to make sure that my X's stay in a nice stack so that it's easy to read. If you are still duplicating, you can go ahead and stop, and then you can duplicate when we need those X's. I want you to make sure you don't get behind here, okay? All right, let's take a look at Wednesday. Wednesday has 10 oranges picked in a week, so I'm going to stack 10 of my X's because my scale tells me I'm counting by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm moving X's, you're moving X's, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a tall stack of oranges. Alrighty, Aiden looks great. Justin, make sure you stack your X's, not just place them randomly around the category. They need to be stacked up nice and tall. Steve Rogers, looking good. Terrence, make sure you have 10 on Wednesday. Right now it looks like you have 4. Frank, get those X's stacked up, please. Your graph is still blank. Camille, you can go ahead and stop duplicating X's and start stacking them. You can duplicate them as you need them in a moment. All right, let's look at Thursday. Thursday has 12 oranges picked in one day. Our key tells us we're counting by 1, so I need 12 X's. 1, 2, and go ahead and stack all the way up to 12. I probably should have made my X's a little bit smaller.
Mr. Can you slow down a little bit?
I'm just going to move my title up a little bit when I need it. Justin, I can slow down a little bit, kiddo, but this is one of the reasons that I need you paying attention from the beginning, because everybody else is pretty much on track with me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, I've run into my title. I'll just move my title up. There we go. 11, 12. Perfect. And I'm going to need more X's. So as I'm waiting on you guys, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate those. If you've run out of X's, feel free to duplicate those as well while you wait. Okay. A lot of you've got the hang of this. We're going to take a look at Friday. Our data in our frequency chart shows us that we have 8 X's, 8 oranges picked on Friday. So on my graph, I'm going to stack those 8 X's. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. So what have we done today? Today we have taken a frequency chart and we have created 3 graphs using the data in the frequency chart. We use the exact same data to create 3 different graphs: a pictograph, a bar graph, and a line plot, showing how the data can look differently when it's the exact same set. Okay? You today are going to be doing the same thing for independent work. On the left, you will see a frequency chart. On the right, you will see a graph. The categories and the key have been filled in for you. You are simply going to move the data or draw the data to fill it in. Okay? Same frequency chart, but you are going to create a pictograph, a bar graph, and a line plot. On slide 12, use the microphone to describe your success with today's skill of using frequency tables to represent data and creating scaled bar graphs and scaled picture graphs. All right, kiddos, that is your work for